And now we are, as they say, live. Hello, everyone. I am Seely, and we are going to be doing a special session of Las Vegas by Night Desert Darling Vignettes. This day, we have a new individual, Mel the Toothy, who is going to be replacing Ravenfang because we wanted to stick with a tooth-based concept. No, what really it is unfortunately Raven had things in life, so he couldn't continue. So we were able to get a person to step in for them. And without further ado, allow me to introduce Mel the Toothy.
Hi there.
As you can hear, the crowd's going wild in the background. Or at least we can pretend.
Yeah.
Alright. Now, make sure that we all have our sharpened number 2 digital pencils.
Yep.
Let me pull up my second secret screen so I can look at stuff without messing up how pretty the screen is.
Cool. It's like the DM screen.
It's true. Well, I made a quick realization that I had to change the way I normally run games, so because normally I can do all sorts of stuff and nobody sees, but unfortunately, when your main screen is being sent live, I guess I could have just used an image, and this would probably have saved a lot of headache. But that's not how I roll. So, have you given thought to what you would like to play?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a catif.
Neat. Well, I must say the traditional thing when people say they want to play a catif or a Tremere, you do understand that choosing to play catif means that you're deciding to play the game on hard mode.
That's fine. I can handle the challenge.
Sweet. Alright, so I have given you a character sheet.
I see that.
Alright, let's do it, as they say, by the numbers.
Cool.
I know. Let's see. I have a feeling I'm coming in a little quiet. Alright, that's much better on my levels. The problem is not having somebody in the background. And also I just realized that I was talking without pushing the talk. I just raised my volume levels because I was a little bit low.
Okay.
I know that you deeply
I can't hear. I'm not in the stream. Sorry.
What? You're not watching yourself, watching yourself, watching yourself?
No.
Damn. Oh well. The funny thing is, I was taking a nap until about 3 minutes ago. So my brain is like,
bye.
Yeah,
I just woke up not too long ago also.
Oh yeah, it was pretty fun. I set my alarm. I'm like, wow, I am passing out. And I'm like, I'm going to take me a little power nap. I'll be fine. I set my alarm. I set my backup alarm, which in this case is my mother. I'm like, in case my alarm doesn't wake him up, please come and poke me awake. So I got poked awake. I'm like, crap.
That's useful to have a physical alarm like that.
Yeah, a backup. I am deeply, deeply appreciative of my mom and the fact that I get to spend time with her and all that in life is actually pretty nice. definitely is a good reason to come back to this town.
Yeah.
So, we are at the beginning stage of character creation. So the standard thing is, do you have a one or two description of your character concept?
A flamboyant, non-binary magician.
That's close enough to two.
Oh, sorry, I didn't follow the directions.
It's all right. Coloring outside the lines is how we got here as a society. Whereas I think here isn't as bad as we could have been. I'm not speaking for society, however, just us.
Okay.
So go ahead and put that down under your concept. I am tempted to put up on there your character sheet so everybody can see you do stuff on it in, live action, but I think I'm not going to.
What if I spell something wrong and the internet sees it?
Oh no. That's the worst thing I can think could happen.
You know, right?
I mean, that and, the ending of world peace, but mostly spelling a simple thing wrong online. War crimes.
Yep.
It's a good thing you're not playing as a Misi. That clan has 3 different ways of pronouncing their name, and they're all correct.
Oh no.
Canonically.
I mean, I guess it makes sense if you have culture originated in a certain region. That means that, like, in the West or whatever, you might have a different pronunciation or a hard time pronouncing it.
Yep, it's like different cultures have different things. Hey! Hello, Davy Jones Show. Thanks for joining us today. Generally, people sleep. So this is probably a good time while they are poking around. Actually, we should get to the next section. Words are hard. There we go. Please, do you have access to the nature and demeanor list, which is under archetypes?
I do. I've been thinking about that, and I wrote it down. Let me see what I chose.
Yep. Nature is how you are deep inside. Your true self, as they say. Demeanor is how the world sees you. And while you're doing that, to answer Davy Jones Show, who asked what happens in Everybody's Inn, Everybody's Inn is a chain of motels that are ubiquitous through the entire unity of the United States. They are... Calling them a 1-star motel would be giving them a compliment. I mean, the cockroaches generally leave complaints about the, decorum. Not decorum, decor. So, they are not good places, but, I mean, there has to be standards. Mellow! Yay! But, Mallow is our moderator.
Cool.
They have all the power. Mallow has actually been my official assistant ST for longer than I like to think about. They like to put tentacles on everything, so they don't get to run games very often.
That's a mood, though.
I mean, as long as you know what you in for. So just to finish touching up on everybody's in. The most important thing is they have a no cash, no question policy. Sealy is just mean. I am not mean. I am definitely Waze. Okay, that's a stretch of a joke. Mallow is also notoriously not a fan of the pun.
Well, that's just pun acceptable.
Right? Everybody who comes to the Sealyverse has their fair share of punishment. Mallow has responded with, I would time you out if you weren't the storyteller.
I understand. Sometimes it can be hard to deal with.
It's a punderful day. It's a punderful day. So, it looks like you're going with the nature of trickster.
Yep. So in my head, I pictured them as, like, on the outside, being really out there and looking for attention. Like, look at me! But then on the inside, they really just want to make people laugh and try to do that through harmless pranks and so on.
Fair enough. It's always weird. Every now and then I get little thoughts pop in my head, and I'm just like, not sure how I should talk about this. And then I think, oh, I'm not going to talk about it. And then I talk about thinking about not talking about the thing I was not going to talk about. And I'm just like, isn't this... Anyway. So did you have an idea what you wanted your demeanor to be?
Gallant.
Ah. So the flamboyance is a ruse!
Yeah. Yeah, they like to portray really flamboyant, out there persona because they're a stage magician.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they just like being the center of attention all the time.
Don't know what that's like.
In real life, I'm actually a pretty shy person, so we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that I'll be able to portray them well, even though I'm shy in real life.
Well, that's the great thing about role-playing. Is we can pretend to do things.
Exactly.
We are professional pretenders. Alright. Just fill out that and demeanor and... Oh, the reason why I can't say it... So we share the same sheet. It's just, as long as you have selected it, it's not finalized, so I don't get to see it. So, is everybody at home ready for the first real big surprise? Everybody in the audience, how excited are you?
Are they excited?
Yes. All the people who are following us right now, which is a wonderful number, and they're very much loved. They are the first, technically, to know the secret of who is your sire.
Oh.
So, Mel, who is your sire?
Prince's wife. I've forgotten her name.
Princess. Her name is Princess Wife. No, well, isn't that just the most derivative?
I'm sorry, I
No
forgot.
worries. Wendy Berry.
Right. Is that Berry with an A?
Let me pull up. It's Barry, as in like the writer of Peter Pan. Which, so that is Barrie.
Okay.
Who is an actual real person. Who was actually the girlfriend of Benjamin Siegel.
Cool.
And that's Wendy Berry was her stage name. And if you think about the it's just so clever, because I don't know if anybody knows this, but the name Wendy was the very first time it was ever used in literature was in Peter Pan. It wasn't a name really before that. It was kind of a nickname, to my understanding. So the fact that her stage name is Wendy from Peter Pan, and the last name of the guy who wrote Peter Pan, it's just, I don't know why, I just love it so much.
Very nice.
It's because I am simple, I guess. All right.
Anywho, so yeah, my character sire is Wendy Berry.
Yep. And after we get done with the character, we will go through how that whole process happened. That would mean that your generation will be 8th.
Yep. I usually don't go for generation that much, but this will be interesting to see how different it is to have a high generation.
Yep, and it will be it's surprising to people who are, well, you're not all that. Oh, wow, look at you spend all that blood in seconds. Hi. Alright, so now we start into the nitty gritty. What do you see your character's strongest attributes? Are you a physical?
Sure.
Social?
Yeah.
Alright, so you have the points that you get. So feel free to distribute.
I'm going to do 4, 4, and 2.
Sounds great.
And then come back and buff up appearance later.
Fair enough. Alright, so... Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I was going to go into my reasoning, but we don't have to.
Oh no, reasoning is perfectly fine. We have nothing but time.
Okay, well, my idea for that is that they're an entertainer. They're used to being on stage, and they're used to commanding a crowd, basically. So they have to look and act well.
Sounds very reasonable.
Even if maybe their appearance isn't as high, just on their own. They wear fancy costumes and stuff that boost their appearance.
Seems more than reasonable. I don't know how many times I've said reasonable. I should figure out other words. More than fabulous. More than fantabulous. Anyway. Next category. What do you see as your secondary?
Probably mental, because of wits, mostly.
It is a very useful category. Wits and perception, for that matter. It's amazing how overlooked perception is a lot of time in character creation. People make very, unaware characters because they're like, yeah, perception's a dumb stat. And I'm just like, this is vampire. If you don't see it coming, you're dead. So just to check in while they're putting down dots, Mallow, how's the audio coming in? Oh, good. Part of me wants to start up the, sound, the music, but I don't know if it would be too distracting or not. What say you, Mel? Would you like some background random music?
Sure.
To my knowledge, there's always a delay between, or is it even more than normal? Oh. Well, when I launched Steamlads today, they had gone through an update, so that might have changed a couple things. It's like you're psychic. Mallow said that they typed that before I asked. Alright. Hopefully that the music levels is good for everyone.
Yeah, it's great.
Alright, so... Awesome. I'm glad to have somebody out in the audience that can check the other end.
I bet that's really helpful.
I cannot sing Mallow's praises enough. If I was able to, I would pay them for their services. So instead I pay them with praise, love, and puns. Puns are the gift that keeps on giving. Alright.
I feel the same way.
Last but not least, that means putting dots in the physical.
I'm going all in on dexterity.
So you're...
And, yeah, I'm squishy.
So you're going with the sword build in your physical. 1 strength, 4 dexterity, 1 stamina. Kind of looks like a sword. It actually looks like something else, but, people can catch the, what's the, innuendo?
Yeah.
Alright, now we move on to the abilities. And for some reason you have 9 dots in some random expert knowledge.
Oh, oops, it might be the fact that last night I was maybe setting some things up and somebody other than me who had my keyboard and mouse might have put 9 in as a joke.
silly ghost people who are out in the audience right now. So, you know the differences between talent, skills, and knowledges, so I don't really need to go over that, and I've done that in previous vignettes, so no need to reiterate for those at home, I don't think. I mean, this is our technical 4th vignette, so I don't know how much repetition I should do, but anyway, which one would you like to have as your primary?
Talents.
Alright, please allocate your dots appropriately.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to share a little behind the screens for those at home. I constantly worry about how audio comes across, since that's our main thing. And I am not a technical person in the real world. So, going from one thing to another, I finally realized the problem is that I didn't have the microphone close enough to the speaker to pick up people talking. And then I, dug out my old mic stand and corrected that for last session, which is episode 2, session 5, Chainsaw Roomba. I love it. All the sessions get names nowadays. But I noticed that they kept on having this boing sound, like an unintentional boing, as opposed to deliberate boing. And I realized it was because the microphone was on the desk, and anytime I moved it, touched it, looked at it too hard, it would vibrate. All hail the Roomba. Just remember, gelatinous cubes, dungeon Roombas. So, I hope this is interesting for at least somebody. So, I tried to find a desk-mounted shock mount, which are little like rubber bands that hold your mic floaty, so vibrations don't carry through. In the end, I just took apart my old arm, drilled a hole in my desk, and mounted it straight into my desk. Alright, I would love to have a Roomba. Mazakroff, who is one of our players who is following us today, basically said, "Oh, I'm very interested in Roombas nowadays." Unfortunately, I've never lived somewhere that had a combination of enough open space to make a Roomba that wasn't just bunk, 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 bunk.
It'd be like pinball.
Yeah. Davy Jones Show says the best solution is for a desk mic. Thank you. Alright. So, it looks like we got all the abilities squared away.
Yeah.
Did you want to go down why and where you spent things, or do you want to keep up?
Sure.
Alright. So, let's go with talents.
So talents, there are a lot of them I wanted. I went with alertness because it's really important, more than anything else. I also like the idea of them being kind of aware of the occult a little bit. I gave them some occult later. That's a little later, but I also have awareness to go on with that. And then expression, because they're used to expressing themselves on the stage. Some leadership, because they're used to commanding a crowd. subterfuge because they like pulling pranks and tricking people. And so on. That's my reasoning for my talents.
Those are very good reasons.
And for skills, they have 3 in animal ken. I thought this was important because they work with animals a lot. Not with a lot of animals, but with bunnies and with pigeons. So being able to get them to do what they want for a show is important. There can't really be any mistakes during a live show. Or if there are mistakes, it has to be small and easy to correct. They have 3 dots in performance for their magic show. And 3 dots in stealth, because again, pranking people.
Mallow has posted tigers. Now, would it be okay if I made one slight suggestion?
Yeah.
Being a master of sleight of hand, which a magician would need to be, larceny would be the skill for that.
Oh, okay.
So, soft suggestions to move the dots in stealth to larceny. And then when we get to the freebie point or the experience point, you can build stealth up then. But for your concept, being, between performance and larceny, those are vital skills.
Okay.
That is also what you're currently doing is also a perfect solution.
Yeah.
As I like to say, there's no wrong way to build a character. There's less efficient ways, but if anybody ever tells another person they built their character wrong, they don't know what they're talking about. It's just dots on a piece of paper. It's the mechanics, and we play this game for role playing, not for who does dice better. Please continue.
So with that, I smoothed around my dots a little bit. So animal ken is 2, larceny is 2, performance is still 3, and stealth is 2.
Looks wonderful.
For knowledges, I gave them 1 dot in academics because I want them to be able to read.
So you've basically you got your high school diploma or equivalency.
Yeah. They have 2 dots in occult, because I imagine that's a special interest of theirs, and they getting into magic research about occult things. So they have a small understanding of the occult.
With 2 dots, that's actually a pretty substantial, at least by the mechanical frame, which is completely reasonable for the character.
Yeah. I wanted them to have a very mysterious and magical kind of vibe. And then I put a dot in science and a dot in technology. And my logic for that is maybe they use some of those skills in doing tricks on the stage.
There, to my understanding, from the movies that I've watched, there is a mechanical component to legerdemain a lot of the time.
Yeah, knowing how to make trapdoors work and stuff like that.
Yep. All right. Next on, we move to disciplines, which you have 3 dots, and being a Cataficus Maximus, you get to select what disciplines you wish.
Okay. Let me think about that for a moment.
I'll pick potence, and potence. I want to be very potent.
No. This character is squishy. They will fall over with a stiff breeze. I might change that a little later on, as I level up the character during gameplay, but for now, they're not tough or used to a fight or anything like that.
Well, on the upside, a lot of your other coterie, not that you would know this at this point, that's... So, Davy Jones Show said, a caitiff, shocking! And then they said, potent, celerity, fortitude. And I'm like, you're not a blood brother. No, but most of the rest of the group, including the Tremere, are kind of combat-y. So not being combat-y is perfectly fine. So, so far, they have put down animalism, chemistry, and the mysterious third discipline.
Obfuscate.
Ah, I see what you did there. Sorry.
Did I spell it wrong?
No, I mean, everything's good because nobody's watching us misspell online.
And of course, my reasoning for all of these is that these are they lend themselves well to my character concept. Animalism, they can actually talk to the animals they work with, and convince animals to help them pull pranks and stuff like that. Chemistry is illusions, and that sounds just right up their alley. And obfuscate is being able to disappear and trick people by disappearing.
So, Malawolf666 has asked, also, is the character they, them?
They use any pronouns. I'm defaulting to they, them, but I'm planning in game for them to be very ambiguous about that. They'll respond to any pronouns and won't give a straight answer when anyone asks.
Sounds like a reasonable answer to me. I will, yep, more gender fluid representation. So, because of the importance of representation, I think I am going to, before our next session on Saturday, have a symbol added to the pictures of all the players on the main screen to show their self-identified pronouns. I actually got a program on Roll20 that I really think I should find the name of real quick because it's important for them to get recognition, because it is a thing that you can purchase that allows you to put on your tokens their own pronouns, and I've been very happy with it, and I want them to get some cred. So while you move on to filling out what backgrounds you would like, I mean, it's going to be a very simple one. I will do that real quick. Find out the name of the person who did that.
Yep, pretty easy for my background, just 5 dots of generation.
Yep. So the name of the token marker set is Pronoun Party Pride Neo Pronoun Token Marker Add-on.
Cool. Thanks for passing along that information.
And I just wanted to have them. The one that I took, Pronoun Party Pride, is by Tiffany Munro, Munro. And for those following at home, if you're using Roll20, oh, that's a good point. Assuming Roll20 will work. I can drop a link in chat. It's a bit of a mouthful. I if I'm remembering correctly, I actually contacted Tiffany to say thanks, and they sent me a whole bunch of just free assets for Roll20 because I was talking about the fact that I have a whole bunch of gels that a friend of mine, a guy named Justin, made for me that I use in almost every map I make. They're just solid colors that are translucent. And that is, I think it was Tiffany. To be honest, I can't remember now. But hey, thank you. Oh, it's Penguin. Okay. It took me a second to Penguin Nads for following. Anyway.
Oh, hi.
So I just wanted to give out a shout out because I don't know her pronouns, but theirs was the first one that was available on Roll20, and I am a very big supporter and ally, and everybody should be. Oh, it's ADZ, like initials. All right. Oh, I see. Penguin ADZ. I apologize for calling you Penguin Nads, because now I have a feeling that's stuck in my head. All right, continuing on with the distraction that we're currently on. All right, you put 5 dots into generation because you're slightly required to.
Yep.
So now on to, all right, do not make bad jokes. We're on to virtues. And you'll have 7 dots to spread between conscience, self-control, and courage. The courageous of courages. Or as the lion once said, put 'em up, put 'em up. I can take you all on. Oh, we gotta get you a lion.
Yeah. Maybe throughout the game they'll find and rescue one.
Well, I mean, the players were given Siegfried and Roy's former estate as a thanks for, working as a private team. Secretly, yes. Mallow just asked, wait, does this make them like Jay's cousin or something? Now, here's the fun thing and the advantage that you viewers get that the players will not get. You know the secret of Mel the Toothy's character. That is not going to be presented in the game, and I'll explore that more when we do the full vignette, not just the character creation. But that's an added bonus for following us and listening to these things. I also assume that the majority of my players don't actually sit around and listen to the vignettes, so shame on them. No, I normally don't allow 2 people of the same clan to play, but this technically isn't, since Mel the Toothy is a caitiff.
Yep.
Alright, looks like you're done with the virtues. Would you like to give that an explanation?
Well, I wanted them to have very strong. I wanted them to have very strong willpower, and to that point, I gave them a lot of courage, and I'm trying to. They don't have a lot in conscience right now, but I'm going to fix that with XP and freebie points. I just wanted them to be a very courageous person who is not afraid to push the envelope.
Sounds awesome. We're going to fix that in post. Mallow said that I listen to everything, and that is very true. They are awesome, and they were here so often, I thought I'd give them a position because they deserve one. Congratulations, here's more work because you're loyal. Please pardon the sound of me opening a water bottle.
No.
All right. What was that?
No.
Oh. So, luckily, we don't use humanity or paths in this game, so no need to calculate that. And so now your base courage is 5, which means your willpower base currently is 5. Your blood points per turn is going to be 3. Max blood will be 15 because of dots in generation. Now we are to the spending of freebie points portion of character creation.
Yeah. I would like to have some flaws. Merit some flaws.
All right. It's always a good point to add merits and flaws. It gives more challenges to your character, but it also gives some pretty good advantages. So let's start with flaws, which is my preference. And you can have up to 7 points of them.
Yep.
So, do you need a moment to go through and pick which ones you want?
Yeah, is that all right?
Sure.
Cool.
Just remember, everybody at home, today's session has been brought to you by the letter alphabet. The letter alphabet is a fully inclusive letter that includes all letters A to Z. Unfortunately, they wouldn't budget us for the letters beyond Z, but that's only as a Dr. Seuss thing. I sometimes say things that are funny. Most of the time I say things that are funny to me, and I just hope other people are laughing. So while they are making selections, is there any questions, comments, quandaries, or quizitalities out there in the stream chat? Otherwise, I'm going to start singing, and very few people ever want that. Yay! Finding my jokes funny is the #1 way to become my favorite person ever. What's my favorite song? That's a good one. I am a big fan of music. It's been a big portion of my life. My #1 favorite song of all time, It's one of those problems that I like. It's this one. No, it's this one. Anyway, probably my favorite song of all time is all of them. No, um, it's embarrassing. I'm forgetting the. Oh, let's just go with David Bowie's "Life on Mars." I can listen to that song over and over again. Mostly because my favorite song is actually "Windmills of the Mind." That's been covered a few different times, but Dusty Springfield's is pretty good. But the Colorfield version of it is my personal favorite. And I'm probably saying bands that nobody's ever heard of. What's your favorite song, Maz? Nice. Mallow said Linkin Park Fate was their teenage fave. My teenage favorite was the entirety of the Final Cut by Pink Floyd, the Final Cut album. But I was a bit of a Floyd freak when I was in high school. All right, Mel, looks like they are done selecting their flaws. Would you like to share?
Sure. They have Dark Secret, which is that their sire is related to the prince, and that's a whole thing. They're an addict. I haven't fully decided what they're addicted to yet, but I do like the idea that they are addicted to something.
Glitter? Being addicted to glitter. Sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I should let you finish and not comment. My apologies.
It's okay. Prey exclusion. They can't feed from any entertainers. Basically anyone who has a similar job to them. If they're an actor or an entertainer in any way. Is that enough for the prey exclusion?
Or that's more than enough.
Specific? Okay.
Penn and Teller are safe from you.
They're soft-hearted. They don't like causing distress in other people. Well, they're a trickster and a prankster. All their jokes are meant to cause delight and laughter and not cause pain. And then I have Sire's resentment because I feel like they came out wrong. Like maybe they were meant to be a pretty powerful Bruja. Maybe being groomed to be in the court or something. But because they came out of Caitiff, that can't happen.
All these are strong points.
So yeah, those are my flaws.
Awesome. Just to those people listening, Mazarov said they wish they hadn't. I'm not really into music, haha. I like video game music a lot. Mallow then said, I like horror game music, Dead Space for the win. Maz then replied, my favorite is emotional music. My favorite stories are video games and with the best music, like Undertale or Steins Gate. I don't know if I should be, doing a play-by-play of the people commenting, but while we have not streaming, chat of millions of people, it's not too hard to do so. All right, next are merits. So right now you have 22 freebie points.
I do have a few merits that I want.
All
I'll
right.
put those in.
Aw. So, Mallow said, nice, nice. Penguin, not Penguin Gnats. Sorry. Said Hollow Knight for the win. And then Mallow Wolf said, Mom isn't proud of you. I know that feel. Sad emoji. Is that a Hollow Knight reference? Or emotional music reference? Mallow reflect no for me. So, all of us give a collective hug to Mallow, because we're proud of you.
Yeah, we are. Thank you for all the stuff you do to help us, Mallow.
Oh, it's... Mallow said no for Mel, not for me. Um, because the L looked like an exclamation point. Oh.
Oops.
They were talking about your sire.
Oh.
I was sad for the caitiff. Because your sire has resentment for you. This confusion has been brought to you by Seely Doesn't Know How to Read Things.com. At Seely Doesn't Know How to Read Things.com, Seely doesn't know how to read things. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Are you done with merits? Or are you looking for some juicy ones?
I just have to type in one more.
Okie dokie.
Okay, now I'm done.
Alright, and please go over your wonderful selection.
Alright, so they have an enchanting voice. And that gives them a bonus whenever they're talking for persuasion and stuff like that. They're ambidextrous. I'm imagining them learning how to do this. Like they taught themselves to be ambidextrous so that it's easier to use props and do magic tricks and to trick other people. Concentration, because they're used to performing on a stage with a whole bunch of lights and the crowd and things going on. And then natural leader, because kind of going along with that, they know how to talk to a crowd.
Those are awesome. Alright. And that looks like a total of 5, so math says you have 17 freebie points left.
Yep.
Bye, Maz.
Right, let's see.
I miss that Maz person.
Huh?
Mazercroft said they have to go. Hope you guys have fun. So they have forever left from our lives. Never will see them again.
Nope. Never.
It's not like some people are in the same room with them or something or other.
He actually just left the room.
Oh,
So I don't know. Maybe I won't see him again.
that's the sad. So sad. No worries. You have Fecal Sacks to keep your company. Yay, Fecal Sacks!
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Fecal Sacks might be one of my favorite characters in this game.
He has a fun voice.
He does. He's somewhere between Meatwad and Rick from Big Mouth. I'm the favorite part of the show.
Sorry.
No, my apologies. So, where would you like to spend freebie points, or would you like to take a couple moments to decide?
Yeah, I'll think about it for a minute. Thank you.
Sure. I have nothing but time to give. So, for those at home, there are some interesting things about the Caitiff of Las Vegas. One, they have an advisor, a gentleman by the name of Gerald Copeland, who has status 3 within the city. It is uncommon for Caitiff to gain status, but there's nothing that prevents them from doing so. There's just mechanically, they're just not allowed to start with status. And the reason why Mr. Copeland has status is because he pulled a trick, a very, very complex and dangerous trick on the prince, and got away with it. Basically, he challenged Prince Siegel, and this was before Prince Siegel had a champion, for the Caitiff clan to be recognized and have rights, to have their own territory and so on. And Siegel accepted, of course, because he was going to teach this, Caitiff some manners. But the second that he got into the ring and Copeland was in the circus, the ring is the circus, that is, he got a call, the prince did, that is, that his child, Belle, was in trouble and needed assistance. So the prince sped off, going to his favorite child, who is his daughter in real life. Well, not real life, but was his daughter before she was embraced. Gets there, and then says, "So, Dad, do you like this dress or this dress? I can't decide which one to wear today." Which had been prearranged by Mr. Copeland, it eventually turns out, to get the prince to concede the match and thus win. So he actually got a lot of respect from the prince for pulling that off once. Nobody's attempted to do something like that since it'd probably be less well received. Did I change the story once again? I am legendarily unreliable narrator. But knowing Belle, it would definitely have been a dress. I don't know if I like this pink or this pink. Would people like to know a secret about Belle?
Yes.
Deep down, she hates the color pink. What? Your minds are blown!
Is her demeanor that she likes pink?
No, it's because her father is thinks pink is a lucky color, and he is kind of obsessed with pink. It's the reason why pink is the representation of the Toreador, the Bruja clan. I am not a liar. I have never lied a day in my life. I have laid, I have flopped, I have sat, but laid, never. I may have flopped twice. I am kind of floppy. Don't you dare tell my mama. My mama might be the person who taught me how to lie. But I don't lie, so she didn't teach me very well. Alright, how goes point assignment?
I'm done assigning them.
Ooh, so if you please walk us through.
I put all the freebie points into backgrounds.
Sounds good.
They have one resource, one in resources rather. I'm thinking they used to be more successful, but since becoming embraced, they've been, busy, and they haven't had the ability to run shows as often. So their savings account is dwindling, I'll put it that way.
Fair enough.
So maybe if they can get back into doing shows or making some more money or investing what they have left, then it'll be fixed pretty easily. But for now, they only have 1 dot in resources. They have a little bit of fame. They have 2 dots because of their shows. They're not super famous, but they do have a following. And I show that further by herd. I have a dot in herd, and they have some groupies that follow them around. And then I put 2 dots in mentor, and I thought it would be cool if their grandsire, Siegel, would be their mentor to help them. They can't help as much, maybe, which is why I only put 2 into it.
That makes perfect sense.
And then I have 1 retainer. I'm planning on adding more, but they have an assistant.
Fair enough.
Magician's assistant.
So, whom or what is your assistant?
I haven't fleshed them out yet, but I'm thinking it's a human assistant.
All right.
An actual, someone who does tricks with them and stuff.
Now, are they a standard assistant? So somebody who is very, very attractive and is there for a titillation experience?
Maybe. I haven't fully decided yet. I was thinking they also help them come up with tricks.
Fair enough. So even more than an assistant, almost a creative partner?
Yeah.
Your very own teller?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well,
My character is still the mastermind behind their act and behind most of the tricks and everything, but the retainer will still have helped
Well, that sounds awesome. A lot of the times, the assistant is not given as much credit as they should because of whatever reason. Kind of like the amazing Jonathan and his assistant, who I can't remember her name. It's been a long time since I watched one of his things, but she comes off as this bubbly, uh, imbecile, which is the whole thing. But I am certain that they actually collaborate to make things up. But Amazing Jonathan is, has a particular type of following. If you're not familiar with him, feel free to YouTube them at some point. He was big in the 80s, and now he lives in Vegas.
Honestly, for inspiration before the session on Saturday, I might look at a lot of magicians.
Sounds good. Ones I recommend is definitely Penn and Teller. And then there is the Amazing Jonathan. I'm trying to think of other notables in the area. But, I mean, all you have to do is watch 1 or 2 episodes of Fool Us to see up-and-coming magicians. And it looks like you spent the rest of your freebies on Willy Power.
Yep, I maxed out my willpower.
Alright. Well, you also get a certain amount of XP. So feel free to start assigning that. Myself, I am going to step away from the mic while you do that. And the mic will be hot, so you're more than welcome to talk to the crowd. And so on and so forth. But I will be right back.
Okay, cool.
I have returned. Mallow was asking if you could read chat.
I cannot. I'm sorry. Maybe I can pull it up.
No worries. Not everybody is fortunate enough to have more monitors than they need.
I only have one monitor, so having the book and Roll20 and Discord and Twitch all at once is a lot, like a little bit of a lot, but...
Yep. Mallow says, they did up one of their octopi, and then, can you read chat? And they put up a, nay! 'Tis okay. I was going to ask if you had a pet. And then I was going to ask for pics in Discord. So, we do have a Sealyverse Discord. that you can find the link to in the About, or to my understanding, underneath the session on the screen. If you just click on the Discord, that'll join you into our Discord group. And one of the great things about that Discord group is we actually have a tab that is dedicated just to pics of people's animals, fur babies, and the special people in their lives. There are a couple pictures of the supervisor in there, who is currently sleeping on her blanket. But almost every time I talk about the supervisor, she wakes up, so maybe you'll hear her in a moment. Also, you can catch other episodes of Las Vegas by Night, Desert Darlings on YouTube. My channel is just Sealy. And you can find a link also right where you can find a link to the Discord. Thank you, Mallow, for reminding me to plug things. And once again, a big shout out to all the people listening, following, and hopefully enjoying the content that they get today. Please remember to like, follow, hug, lick, tickle, whatever type of things you want to do with your internet experience. There's not enough tickling on the internet to this day. So Mel, how goes the XP spending?
I am mostly done with that.
Yay! It goes quick, right?
It does. It runs out quicker than I wanted it to.
Well, I would give you more, but that would be cheating.
It would.
And I am pretty notorious for my stance on paying to win.
Yeah.
Not that it matters in this game, because this game is a free to play game. But generally what I do for a day job. For those who don't know, I am a professional storyteller. You can find me on Roll20 as Sealy. And I have games that have slots. So if you want to play Vampire 20th Anniversary, or I have a upcoming Firefly world that uses a mortal system based on Vampire 20th Edition, please feel free to look me up. I've been doing it for 6 years now, and pretty much everybody that you see in this room, in this game, are all members of some of my other sessions. I also, Mallow helpfully pointed out that people who play my games, who follow my Twitch, get 5 free XP for following, because you gotta hustle. And with that, if you're all done spending the points, please feel free to let us know what you did.
All right. So I added 2 dots to my appearance, so I have 4 on all my socials. I just I wanted them to look really nice, even if maybe their physical appearance isn't that great. They dress it up with flamboyant clothing.
The total package.
Exactly. I added a dot to empathy, because since they're like a jokester and a trickster, I wanted them to be able to maybe gauge how other people might basically I wanted them to be able to tell what other people might find funny.
Reasonable.
And what else? Just a second.
No worries.
I added a dot in athletics. Because I imagine them, like, standing up on the stage for long periods of time and activating traps and tricks and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
I want them to be able to handle that.
They work out.
Yeah, a little bit. A stiff breeze could still knock them over, but oh well.
Looks good to me.
And then I added the rest of it into conscience. I have one left over, and I decided to purchase French with that.
Ooh la la. Mallow just shared a whole bunch of heart-eyed emoji smiley faces and said, love the puppy pic.
Yeah, I sent one to the Discord.
See, if that's not a reason to join the Discord just to be able to see a puppy pic, I don't know what we're doing in this world. All right, so you now speak French.
Yep, I'm not sure where to note that on my character sheet though.
You could in the box that says path sends. Feel free to put stuff in there, since we don't use those for the mechanics of the game.
Cool.
Mallow says they just put it in notes. The important thing is it's somewhere that you remember where it is.
All right. Cool.
I do allow. Davy Jones Show asked if I allow Zamisi to play, and yes. Well, it really depends on the setting, but I normally don't limit clans. I limit sept. No, that's werewolf sect for vampire. So as long as you're a Camarilla Zamisi, which within the Sealyverse, clan tied to sect isn't a thing. While true, the quote-unquote core clans created the Camarilla, and then, people not invited, I was getting to that, Mallow. And the other clans formed the Sabbat. There's never been a clan's whole identity is tied up with one group. So, mostly it's because, okay, to be clear, disclaimer, I have strong feelings about things, and one of the importance about doing this over Twitch is to, kind of not share overly strong feelings, but I do feel that the concept of anti-tribu is silly. And it's because of the fact that I'm an elder Bruja. I've been a Bruja since, shortly after we lost the, first city, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, this new group of people form up, join, and create a gang. I'm like, oh, look, it's the Camarilla gang. How exciting is that? And then another group creates another gang that's the Sabbat gang. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. There's the Sabbat gang. I think I like the Sabbat gang more. I joined the Sabbat game, and all of a sudden, I'm not a Bruja. I'm a Bruja and a Tribu. I'm like, no, I'm still a Bruja. I don't know what you're talking about. So, just one of the many small takes that makes the Sealyverse how it is. But squirrel brain discretion aside, Mallow shared that I allow every clan except for Bali. And Mallow says, because I am rude. No, it's because Bali do not get along with other players, and generally when they, basically the Bali is the rug pull clan. It's we get in really good, and then haha, look, I'm the bad guy, la. So just for sense of balance, which is part of the whole point for storytellers to balance at a table, I don't allow one player to be the villain. The same reason I don't allow one player to be a prince or anything of the like. players working towards that, that's great. But as soon as one player becomes a position and the other ones are not, unless the group is already consented to being secondary characters in a story, I mean, I want everybody to share the spotlight. Now, some players, they want to be background characters and, you know, I'm the power behind the throne. But overall, table balance and everybody having fun. I mean, because we're cooperatively telling a story, and that's what it really comes down to. Which is why sometimes players playing I'm a lone wolf character who is a lone wolf is hard, because this is just a side grouse. It's cool being, you know, Strider. I'm in a corner, all alone. Look at me now. Don't look at me. I'm hidden. You know, just the thing is it's kind of hard to contribute to the overall story when you don't want to interact with the other players. I'm not calling anybody out particularly, just a general, you know, stuff that when you're new, you are, you know, imitating stuff you see in movies and all that. But as you get older and play more games, it's just something to keep in mind. Now, keep in mind, my experiences are my own. I am not qualified to tell you how to do anything in life, so including role-playing. So carry on, Macduff. And as for carrying on, first and foremost, Mel, do you need a small break before we launch into the vignette portion, or are we good to go?
I would like a small break. I'm finishing up my picture for my character as well.
Fair enough. I was going to wait for another half hour before we do an official break, but if you want to take a small break, I'll be more than happy to keep talking.
Okay, yeah, that would be nice if you wouldn't mind.
Not at all.
Cool, thank you.
Strangely enough, keeping me talking is not something that's ever been something hard to encourage. And out there, as Mallow says, bathroom time for everyone. Feel free to do a little bio, which could be drinking fluids, which is important. It could be drinking food, which is difficult. Go off, do stuff. Remember to wash your hands. So, yes, I have a couple Zamisis in different games. I imagine that they are kind of on the internet mind, given the fact that Alex Ward, I think it's Alex Ward, is playing one in Manhattan, New York by night. They are a very interesting clan. I allow both in my games, so really, like, once again, it depends on the setting. But I love Old Clan Zamisi. I played in a LARP years ago, and my character was known as Vagabond, because I was an Old Clan Zamisi who had just kind of stopped caring about everything. I was an autarch, and I was just kind of a whimsical pain in the ass. But he was fun to play. I very much miss the Seattle scene and all of the LARPs up there. There are many, many LARPs, Boffer and Salon. And if you're in the Pacific Northwest, you are fortunate. As it currently stands, there are no LARPs in Reno, to my knowledge. Not that there was all that many LARPs when I lived here years ago in the height of the LARP area, but such things happen. You should. LARPs are amazing, but there are some things you have to remember when you go into a LARP. First and foremost, bring your own fun. You cannot expect the storyteller to entertain you, because generally, if it is a popular LARP, it is going to be one storyteller for 50 to 100 players. And while being active and aggressive and getting in on stuff is fine, at the end of the night, it is really going to be you have to figure out a way to entertain yourself by role-playing with other people, or whatever you do. An old group that I was part of was known as Cheddar Team back in the 90s. And our motto is bring your own fun. Also make storytellers cry, but that's not here nor there. We might not have been the best role models at the time. I have done poor choices in my life. I think you have made me cry, Mallow. You have made me cry at least once. But then again, I'm notoriously easy for tears. 'Cause I touch my inner child, and he took me to jail. What, you didn't know? Haha. Let's just say you did something very, very thoughtful, and it really, really moved me. And when I was really, really moved, tears came to my face. I didn't want to tell you because you'd be all embarrassed. I don't want to share it on the air where it is going to be in the ether forever and ever. But know for a fact that you have, and that is one of the many reasons why you are special to me in my hearts. And to be clear, yes, I just specifically meant hearts. I have one, and I have more on a shelf. So, I have no idea what that emoji means. TPFUFUN? I do have followers of sets in most of my games. Who doesn't like being a follower of set? Oh, I see. Setite, because heart's on the shelf. Yep. Best part of being a setite is the heart removal system. I still think for Zamisi, the best place to move your heart to is your pelvis. But then getting staked in the ass is hilarious. Now, here's a question for you, Davy Jones Show. What clan do you, I don't want to say idolize, you see yourself being closest to stereotypically? identify with. That's the words. Once again, Mallow Wolf, the best mod ever. At least for me personally, I have come to accept that the clan that I identify with and the clan that I am stereotypically close to are not the same. I can see Mallow as a Bruja. Yep. Hit socials with socials. Nothing says fun when you grab the prince by the ankles to smack the Toreador. I would love to be Nosferatu, but I am a Bruja. So that's I guess that's we're all three Bruja. Even to the point that I have a very, very bad temper that I work very, very hard to keep a handle on. Deep down, we're all Bruja. Mostly because the Toreador clan doesn't exist. They're a myth. David Jones says, I'm having a lot of fun playing Bruja in the game I'm in. Bruja are great. Especially if you're trying to not be a stereotypical leather jacket, motorcycle, driving Bruja. And just every now and then there's just the Hulk smash comes through. Mallow just said Toreador are just fancy caitiff. I think you just made many Toreador Toreador fans frenzy there, Mello. David Jones Show says, yes, no leather jackets, but Hulk smash aplenty. So, in the last game that I got to play in LARP-wise, I was playing a Bruja that one of the other players in the game pretty much bloodbound my character without my knowledge. And all of a sudden I was being their personal minion. That led to my character's death, but the only good Bruja is the one that's bloodbound to you. Although, bloodbinding that character was... It didn't last long enough for me to start showing my love for things, but... I really miss the person that did those actions. He passed away a few years ago, and he was one of the better role players I've ever known. The wonderful old adage, nobody gets out of life alive. I got no strings to hold me down.
I am back.
Yay! You're back. You came back from outer space. You just came in with that look on your face. We should have changed that passcode. Should have made you leave your key. As a side note, not having a fan on is a lot of fun when it's 92 degrees outside and you live in a brick building.
Ooh, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Reno is just having a little bit of a heat wave. I mean, it's not really a heat wave, it's just, our weather. Alright, so are we ready for some role playing?
Yeah.
Alright, so we start as all things starts at the beginning. You are going through your life, mostly already nocturnal, because most shows happen in the evening. You're not super popular, but you have a reliable gig. I think you have, probably at least a contract at one of the casinos. Maybe not the biggest one, but I mean, you're not a headliner, but you're toes in the door, and your only way to go is up. And given that so many of the old magicians are actually old and retiring voluntarily or not voluntarily, there's a hole for you. Your gig is, interesting, but it might not be, it's not top tier, but you're getting there. You're learning.
I'm rising the ranks. People are taking notice.
It's true, especially because you have, you do the classic, have animals in your act, and a little bit you're trying to, at least from the sense I get from your characters, you're trying to keep the whole experience alive, but make it a little bit more modern and a little bit less mired in misogyny and, other things that as a society we can move past. I know it's a little bit of a reach, but if I'm off base, please let me know.
So far you are not.
So for the last 3 shows, there is a guy who's been in the audience with a little notebook taking notes. You spot him every night because he kind of stands out. He's got black hair that has basically that, wonderful white hair on the sides. Not sure if they have a name for that. I always think of it as Mad Max hair, but I just need to pull up his picture real quick. He also has a big white stripe of hair in the in like a forelock. He's got a beard, and generally he's dressed really, really nice. Tan trench coat over a. You assume Armani? Not sure how aware of fashion your character is.
Maybe a little bit.
Says. Fair enough. The whole vibe off of him says recruiter. He is, to your assumption, a talent scout for one of the bigger casinos. Okay. I mean, that's the most reasonable assumption, but he follows. He shows up to 3 shows, takes notes, and that is that.
On the last show, they would probably go out of their way to volunteer this guy or this person, like if there's a volunteer from the audience type thing, even if he doesn't raise his hand for it, they'll choose him.
Gotcha, and opposed to your plant?
Yeah. And maybe improv a little bit with him, if he is amenable to it.
He is, actually. Hey, you picked me. I have very exciting for us. Hey, everybody, I'm on stage.
And I'll do tricks with him, and like.
Are you going to saw me in half? That would be very cool.
Well, if you asked.
Please.
Oh,
the fabulous. What's your? Have you decided your stage name?
I have. The magnificent Cabal.
Please, magnificent Cabal, saw me in half. Make me half the man I am today.
Well, since you asked so politely, how could I say no? And I'll go through the whole thing, the whole trick with him.
So, normally, this trick requires somebody who is somewhat agile to be able to crumple up, in their half, that whole, because this is one of those, already spelled, so hopefully I'm not ruining the trick for anybody in the audience. He knows it. Which just lends more credence to this guy is, a magic scout. Oh, look at me! I am in half! This is so amazing! I have lost so much weight! Look at me!
I've never had one of my victims so happy about being cut in half before.
It's not the first time I've been cut in half.
Oh, you're a natural. You're experienced.
But I got better the last time. There's laughs in the crowd. You guys have a natural camaraderie. And this guy he has this infectious humor about him. Gregarious is probably a good word for his personality type. A little bombastic, a little a little overly familiar at times. Nothing that would get a person written up for HR, but likes to drop arms around shoulders and stuff that is just not overly common anymore. Especially in our, in the COVID world where touching people is, verboten. Did you do anything else with him after that trick?
No, they'll thank him and send him off the stage and basically let him know, well, if I need another volunteer, I know where to go. I have some experience in this, in the audience.
Yes. You are very talented. The amazing Cabal, everyone! Give them a hand! Don't forget to tip your waitress. Service person. I'm sorry. Old habit. Service person.
And they'll do a flamboyant bow
and off he goes. And that's the last show he goes to. About a month later, you're wrapping up a set, and you hear, hello.
They'll turn around and look at whoever's talking to them.
There's a woman. Her hairstyle is, it's very, very nice. Something that was popular years ago that's starting to come back into style. But she herself is probably 5'2", wearing a very expensive silk cocktail dress, pink in color. She has a little pink clutch, and she doesn't wear pearls, but there is a necklace with a. Does your character know gemology at all?
Maybe a little bit, but not very much. They know some, occult meanings of some gems, from the Wiccan side of things, but that's about the extent of their knowledge.
She is wearing a pink diamond in the center of her neck piece. Which you know to probably is a Argyle diamond. 90% of the world's pink diamonds are produced by the Argyle Diamond Mine in Australia. It might be not overly rare, but it is. I mean, it has a little bit interesting history. If you're not missing your guess, that's probably like you're gonna say around 50 to 60 carat diamond around her neck. Big money. And she says, "Are you Cabal?"
Why, yes. That is me.
Oh, good. I wanted to be sure.
Sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. Your life is about to get better. You should come with me.
And why is that? I mean, you're a lovely lady. I would be happy to go with you, but...
The feelings of love that you have for this person, and it's almost like you... Out of the blue, your brain just realizes that you are madly, deeply in love with her, and will do pretty much anything that she insists.
Oh my. Of course, my lady. Let's go out on the town, or whatever you would like.
You miladied her.
Well, they're trying to be polite, and they're charmed into almost a stupor.
It's true. And a night on the town you have. You find that you guys have a reservation at the most expensive restaurant in Las Vegas. To the point that there's nobody else here, just you and her. So I mean, the back of your mind, the rational voice says, this must be a casino owner. Pardon the typing.
They'll do their best to impress. They are also having a hard time handling the weird emotions that have come over them. They're not so used to it, I guess. So they're floundering a little bit.
So the restaurant you go to, I'm probably butchering the name, is called Joel Robuchon. It's located in the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino. It's one of the most exquisite and expecting dining experience to have in Las Vegas. It is a 16-course meal of pure French decadence. You have never been here. But let's...
Probably never even heard of the place, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, your character might a little bit, just because, you know, you work in Vegas. So, of course, you know the creme de la creme. This place is gorgeous. And that's not just because I love purple, and there's a lot of purple in this place. But, let's see. I'm going to butcher stuff because I'm not a fancy person in real life. A sampling of the tasting menu includes caviar imperial, la avocate, which is cannellini with avocado with salmon and the most delicate cream, la crevette rose, which is a dish of rose shrimp, and bono tuna with bright ginger and kombu seaweed broth. Wine pairing and dessert were also included. From there, it's just cite, just a list of experiences. Ew, snail eggs. Mello just pointed out the most expensive caviar is snail eggs.
Oh.
Interesting enough, you know how they deliver the snail eggs?
Oh.
In a car with an S on the side, so people can say, "Look at that S car go."
That's really funny.
It is a night to remember. And it is getting close to dawn. You are... Mallow just shared, "I hate you." The punishment never ends.
Nope.
And at the
Hopefully
end...
Mallow can be understanding.
You find out the woman's name is Ms. Bari. She doesn't really talk much about herself, and she asks you questions about your family, about your life, if there's anybody important in your life anymore, or, is there anybody... And sometimes, if it wasn't for the fact that you're utterly falling for this woman, the fact that she asked if there's anybody who would miss you is completely missed. You miss it as a red flag.
Oh no.
And at the end, you wind up in the Caesar's Flamingo. You are in her room drinking champagne that is from a very small vineyard in France. It is actually champagne from the Champagne vineyards. And then she says, "Well, it's time."
Time for what?
Time for you to slip out of this mortal coil. And before you say another word, she bites you on the neck. And you thought all the pleasure you've had in your life was amazing. It all fades away to the experience of her noshing on your neck. She holds you close, and for a little woman, her grip is like steel. Not that you want to get away anyway.
Oh, it seems I've been tricked.
You wake up in a four-poster bed. Time has passed, but you're not sure how much. You are naked, but folded on a dresser in the room that, as you look around, you can see a pink robe, silk. From this distance, you can't tell if it's silk or velvet.
They'll jump and feel just the skin crawling sensation, looking down at them and themselves, and then realizing that somebody undressed them. And they'll run to the robe and put it on, like, as fast as they possibly can. Then they'll look around the room anxiously.
It's a hotel room. There's no window. It's very expensive. There's a full kitchen. And, you have been in hotel rooms a good chunk of your life now. This is junior suite level of a hotel room. And there's a door.
They'll cautiously go to the door and open it a crack if they can.
You can. Inside, you realize that it opens up into a large suite, which your mind instantly says that, oh, you're in a penthouse. There is a large piano. Not pink, it's black. But the whole room is exquisitely designed. It reminds you of, I don't know, the 20s, the 30s, from its decor.
They'll look around sheepishly and kind of try and find an exit to sneak out of.
There are many doors, and all of them lead to rooms. Almost all of them look similar to yours. There's about 10 of them. You find a double set of doors, which you're unable to open. And then you find a door that is clearly the way out, but it doesn't unlock. It is, Mazagroft asked, is this purgatory? Maybe. If you were a 1920s, flapper. It took me a second to remember what they were called. This door has no doorknob on this side. Doesn't slide, doesn't push. There's nothing you can do to figure out how to open it. You're hungry. You're very hungry. Thirsty. It's weird. It's if hunger and thirst had a baby, and that baby was very pissed off about being born. This is also the point that you realize that you are about 40% full.
They're very confused. They just look around kind of almost in a daze.
It's kind of a sensational hole that you fall down when you realize that you can sense how full you are, and realize that you can sense something in your body. Like the presence of it being there is something you can sense. It's almost akin to that uncomfortable feeling when you have a little bit too much gas in certain areas, and it's not painful, but it's just like, ooh, that's a thing. Except for it's less a sense and more of a knowledge. Does that make sense?
Yeah. They'll look around for something to eat. They can't really stop feeling. They don't really know what to do other than just find something to eat.
Well,
or drink or whatever.
There is a bar in the suite area, but you do remember that your room did have a full kitchen.
Okay. They'll go back to where their room was and they'll look for the kitchen. Look for something to eat.
In the kitchen, there is in the refrigerator, there are two plastic serving containers, like the stuff that you would serve lemonade or Kool-Aid out of. There are two of them filled with thick red liquid.
They'll take one of them out and make a face and sniff it, thinking, is this like tomato soup? No, wrong consistency. What the heck is this?
I don't think did you put any dots in medicine?
No, I did not.
But you did put dots in occult. So
Yes.
definitely give me an intelligence occult roll.
Okay, let me. Okay. Yeah. I got 1 success, presumably.
That is blood. The significance of hasn't quite registered yet. By the way, I'm going to put your token into the thing, and I love it, by the way.
Yeah, I have a different version of it for the
BIOS.
portrait on the bottom, if you want.
Well, it's up to you. As some people have gone to the full body present like Caden has, or if you wanted a different one, what would be your preference?
I have one that's just their face for a close-up, and I have one that's a full body for like the token that I move around the screen when, if that makes any sense.
It does. And now you have a second character sheet to load the second one up.
Oh, that works. I was sending it to your Discord. I forgot that you can't access that right now.
Yep. Lots of boxes within boxes. Nope, but you just upload it to that second character sheet. I don't really, unlike my normal games, I don't use maps as much. Mostly because I still haven't heard back from that one website that I politely put in the form to get permission to use their stuff. So I am hesitantly doing so because I don't want to have to do whatever. I mean, my biggest fear is I would have to remove the visual from my earlier games, and I think it's just easier to go gently. All right. And now you live on the face of a Tremere. Oh.
Ah!
Appropriate response. All right, there you are, Cabal.
Cool.
Way to be different than having a round border.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool looking.
Definitely seems fancier.
Yeah. Which is totally Cabal's vibe.
It's fair. So, yes, you can tell that that's blood. And you can also tell that there is this deep rising hunger, thirst that wants it, needs it. Put it in my hole so I can have it.
They'll shrug and be like, well, one in Rome, and then start drinking it.
It's not like you haven't drank strange things before. There was that one time that you made that alchemical potion that was supposed to awaken your third eye, and all it did is just make you vomit for 12 hours.
Yuck.
Yeah. This, however, is delicious. It is tastier than the meal that you had last night, or at least what you think was last night. Do you drink both pitchers?
Yeah.
That puts you to about 70% full. You are not... the hunger's still there. The hunger's always there. It's just not as pressing as it once was.
How many points is that? Sorry.
You're at 12 blood. Wait, I don't do math. Let's just say 12. You're 12 out of 15.
Okay.
There is the sound of a door unlocking.
They'll spin around and just kind of clutch their robe closed, even though it's tied closed, and look around for a weapon or something.
I mean, there is that, statuette of the... your character only has 1 dot of academics, so roll me intelligence academics. It would help if I... There we go. Look at that. You paid attention in... You definitely paid attention in art class. It is a Venus de Milo. Looks to be done in... Your guess is gold leaf? You pick it up. It is... it's definitely bronze with gold leaf applied over it.
They'll wince a little bit because it's such a shame, such a pretty statue.
I mean, it's not the real one. It's clearly. I mean, it's the size. It's basically about 3 to 4 inches on a desk, in opposed to the full size one.
Fair enough, but still, like, they feel a little bad because it's all covered in gold leaf and it looks all fancy. They hate to have to smash it up and ruin it, but they still are concerned for their safety. They've been well taken care of, but they're still in this situation to begin with. It's left them uneasy.
Yep. You go to lift it. Roll me your strength. You manage to, with both hands, lift this thing. It is almost heavier than you can handle. As a side note, I did say that we would take a break at the top of the hour, but I don't feel I need to. Are you good?
I'm good for right now.
All right. So you are now armed with a Venus. The soft sounds of a piano being played comes up from downstairs. Ragtime jazz, disconcertingly enough. I mean, it's not the maple leaf rag, but it's definitely that era of, loose women in fast cars or whatever you want to assume with prohibition.
Well, we'll try and sneak into the room.
All right, dexterity, celerity, and... Wait, you don't have celerity. Dexterity and stealth. Just to check with those at home real quick, was there a whooshing sound a second ago? Oh, we totally forgot to do your specialties.
Oh, yeah.
So, while I'm waiting for people... Oh, sad. I was hoping that my fan wouldn't. Uh, I have a little hand fan that I was trying to
Uh-huh.
use. I was hoping the mic wouldn't pick it up, but this mic is good. um, so real quick, if you want to fill out the specialties, please do
Okay.
so. But at least I have an easy way to show how my appreciation for everybody following us right now, because I'm a fan of all of you. All right, I'll try to do it slower. So Maz just said, with how hot things are nowadays, we need all the fans we can get. Um, yeah, the other day I wanted to pick up a new fan, so I went to this website that was called OnlyFans, and I was surprised. Now, to be honest, I have never been to the site, but I think it's funny.
Just looking for the attributes to look at the examples of specialties for a couple of them.
No worries. I'm trying to figure out music because I think I've been playing the cyberpunk thing over and over again because I thought I was supposed to slowly rotate through them. Oh, here we go. I actually found some. Hopefully, it's not copyrighted. I assume if I could find it on Roll20, it's not copyrighted. All right, there is appropriate background. That's less distracting, I hope.
Okay, I'm done with my specialties.
All right. So to pick up where we were, the sound of ragtime music is coming from below.
They're trying to sneak in to get a look at what's going on.
You did get, let's see. You are graceful, so I'm going to go with, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Let's see if you're noticed. Nope, the person at the piano seems to be focused at the piano. It's the lady that you went on all those trips with. Well, at least that spent a night to remember with.
They'll consider their options and decide that perhaps a more diplomatic approach is needed instead of bashing her over the head.
I mean,
So they'll...
That's brave.
They're also not good at fighting. They know they're not good in a fight.
Just to check, Mallow, how's the audio levels with the background music? I always love the delay. All right. Tad lower it is. You are on the second floor. And you are walking towards, sneaking towards her. There is a stairway down on either side. She seems to be completely unaware of you.
They'll gently set the statue down where they are.
All right, roll me strength and stealth. You do, in fact, gently place it on the ground, even though it is so heavy.
My lucky rolls are back.
It's true. You do have legendary lucky rolls.
Yeah. Anyway, they'll look around and see, like, did she leave the door open?
Nope, the door is closed. You see that she has a wrapped package sitting on the piano bench next to her. Pink wrapping paper, black bow.
Do they still feel the love for her? Or
No,
is
but
that
you
one
you remember it, but you don't feel it any longer. Something about dying changes the way you feel about someone.
I would say the heart grows fonder with absence, but I'll have to say that this time that's certainly not the case, they'll say with a somewhat irritated tone to their voice as
It's true.
they go down the stairs more confidently.
All right. Are you still stealthing, or are you making yourself known?
Making themselves known.
The music stops. And now I'm trying a different type to see if it works. Funny enough, it is so quiet. I'm like, is it even playing? Sorry. Um. Ah, you're awake.
I am. What did you do with my clothes?
Oh,
Why have you done this to me? What have you done to me?
She will slowly spin on the bench, putting her feet down on the other side. Well, where to start? I've given you the gift of immortality.
Really?
Yes. You are, as the kids these days say, undead.
Well, that's a lot.
I mean, don't you feel that you don't have a heartbeat anymore? That regular rhythm is gone?
You know, until you said that, I hadn't really noticed that, but now that you say that, oh, that's weird. And they'll clutch at their chest.
It is still. But you're not going to age. You'll look like this forever. And as long as you don't get in the way of some ecological or physiological program, you'll live forever. No crow's feet for you, my dear.
Why did you do this to me?
Why did I do this to you? Why did I give you a gift?
I mean, you did give it to me without my consent. You have no idea about what I thought about immortality or anything. Like, what if I was really against that? I was looking forward to dying an old person one day.
Nobody ever thinks those things. Pish posh.
Maybe you don't, but all sorts of people think all sorts of things.
Huh. Well, that's gratitude for you.
I mean, it is very new. Maybe I need a little bit of time to wrap my head around it.
I guess. I mean, Enzo said that you're the best of his selection. And I expected you, being a performer, to be quick on the uptake. I mean, when I was acting, if there was a flub line, I would have to create at that moment, and I did. So I was expecting the same quality of child from you. This is what I get for having a secondary party find my first child.
I mean, normally, yes, improvisation is very important, and it's something I do frequently, but
Well,
this
it
is a
doesn't
bit
show
bigger
it.
than acting on a stage.
Oh, the world's a stage. That's a famous quote, you know. Well, we're just going to have to make do with what we have, shouldn't we?
Improvisation and all that.
And all that. So, you may call me Sire or Ms. Barry. I'm not going to have any of that familiar malarkey.
Okay.
And it's my job to teach you how to act properly within the kindred community. You're going to be the newest Bruja on the scene. Isn't that lovely?
I mean, I have no idea what a couple of those words you just said mean, but cool, I guess.
You will in time, I assume. Assuming that you can learn. I am so put off by this. I have a half a mind to demand my boon back from that A&R fellow. Did you know that they're supposed to find you the perfect match? Well, obviously not. Look at you.
I mean, you're the one that actually went through with whatever it is you did to me, so maybe it's on you for not checking it up on it by yourself.
I watched how you behaved while we went out to food and all those little things, and you seemed to be just fine. Were you trying to deceive me?
I mean, you did something to me. I was head over heels in love with you. During that entire time, I could barely talk or think or anything.
Well, whose fault is that?
Certainly not mine, because I've never felt that way towards anyone before. And I certainly don't feel that way now.
Well, it's not my fault. I went through all the proper channels. I had the right person. So, if it's not my fault, well, obviously it's yours. She gets up from the piano. You know what? I was going to start doing training with you today, show you how to access your abilities, but I'm just too verklempt.
When she stands up, they'll take a step back.
Oh, what? Now you're scared of me? Oh, you are the worst. Timid, not quick on the... Oh. And she just turns and starts walking towards the door.
I'm not scared. I'm just cautious.
Blah, blah, blah.
I was scared. Do you think I would have even come in here?
Is all she replies as she gets close to the door. The door slides open. We'll talk tomorrow. Be in a better mood. And she steps out and the door shuts behind her.
Oh my god. Well.
You're the one that took Sire's resentment.
That's true.
It started even before the truth came out.
Yep. It's gonna get even worse when she tries to teach, like, celerity or whatever, and they accidentally obfuscate.
Yeah. Let's start with presents. Show me how pretty you can be. No, pretty. The box is still on the bench.
They'll peek. They really can't resist at this point. They're so curious, and they want to see what they were brought.
There is a pink suit. It looks like Versace. I think that's a fancy clothing line. And underneath it are 2 blood bags.
They'll put the suit on.
It matches your measurements perfectly.
Okay, that's a little creepy.
You definitely were measured while unconscious.
They'll take the blood and think about drinking it. Like they really want to, but they're not sure when they're going to get more. So they'll take it back and put it in the fridge.
Thoughtful. She doesn't come the next day. And no more blood is not brought the next day either.
So they lose a point the next day, right?
Correct. You wake up and you feel... No, you don't remember falling asleep. It wasn't that slow process of, laying down and... there are no windows in here, so your idea of time is not exactly linear. But you're just walking around and then you woke up on the floor in a heap. And you were, in fact, down 1/15 of your blood. Blood total.
Okay.
You do teach yourself a lot of interesting things. That you can move blood around, and you figure out that you can... well, you can definitely make the sound around you stop. If you put your mind to it, all sound just stops within a certain radius around you.
Well, that's a neat trick. They'll do that often because they think it's cool. And they'll purposely do things that would normally make noise, but it doesn't.
Like scream at the top of your lungs at the frustration of your situation?
Yeah. Is there any entertainment in the penthouse? Like, is a TV or
just the piano?
Okay, so ram the piano keys, not to damage them, but just to make noise, and nothing happens because they're obfuscated.
Yep. Just you feel the thud of your fingers hitting the keys. You even feel the vibration of the chords, but no, it doesn't make any sound.
So that's how they entertain themselves until they fall asleep at the piano.
Yep. You just, the next night, you lose a point of blood. You find yourself on your back, legs still on the piano bench. It seems you fell off backwards.
That's funny. They'll pull themselves up. And are they sore at all from sleeping in a weird position? Or...
Not at all.
Okay, so
Actually,
they'll stretch, and they'll think they would be sore, but then upon finding out that they aren't, be weirded out, and...
Stretching doesn't feel any different. You can stretch as far as you want, and you don't get that relief or anything of stretching. No tightness of muscle. It's all muted. And then you start exploring that and touching and things. I mean, you still feel, but it's... I don't know. It's like touching things through a silk cloth.
They're gonna be really weirded out by all of this. They're not a huge fan of what's happened to them, but they're trying to make the best of it. The only thing they really know how to do is not make noise, so they'll continue making noise to not make noise.
While you are sitting there, does your character think about anything in particular, like something they really desire?
They'd honestly like either something to read or do, or some cards to practice magic tricks.
You are deeply, you're sitting at the piano, deeply craving your cards. And you feel the shift in you. And it in your deck of cards, and you know it's your deck of cards, appears on top of the piano.
They'll jump and look around like, what the fuck? Or, wait, sorry. Am I not allowed to swear?
I keep it to a minimum. I don't know the exact rules. I don't have these things. I even don't even have a warning, even though part of me wants to. I think I should. But, yeah, we are PG-13, so thanks for using the F-bomb.
Sorry.
No, I can't say fuck. Oh, Jesus. Oh, just kidding.
Okay, so they'll go, what the fiddlesticks?
Better.
Look around for, like, the source of it, and then determining there's no one around, look at the cards and reach out for them.
Ladies, gentlemen, and others, my moderator, proving the reason why I made them the moderator.
I just saw.
You reach for the cards, and your hands pass through it. And then it's gone. It winks out of existence.
Oh, what the heck? They frown and like, oh, sad, I wanted to use those, and also, what the hell is going on?
You feel a little bit tired. And that's not something you felt so far, you realize. You're just a smidgen of, just that kind of worn out feeling that you used to get at the end of a long day. It's not really a physical wear out, just kind of the, I'm so done with this day. Just a little bit on that scale.
Yeah. So, get up and decide to go and lay down in the bed that they had in what was their room.
It reminds me, laying in that bed reminds you of the best bed you've ever lived in. Like that, one, bed that you tested out that one time. And that's kind of the feel that you get when you're laying there. It doesn't quite match with the experience that you have, but that's kind of... It's strange. You're like, I should feel this for feeling it. But instead you're remembering what it felt like to lay in a slightly different bed that's close to it.
I'll sigh and just like, well, I guess I made it. In the penthouse all to myself and can't even enjoy it. Well, try and fall asleep.
When you will yourself to fall asleep, you do. Like, I want to go puke. You wake up the next day with a start. And just realize that mechanically you just put yourself into torpor.
Oh, really?
It
Whoops.
felt different. Fortunately, you are near at max willpower, so you weren't. And when you choose to put yourself into torpor, it's only half as long. So it's a quarter of the night, the next day that you use up. There seems to be a package on the foot of your bed. and you hear somebody talking downstairs on a cell phone. Well, you hear somebody talking, but you don't hear another voice, so logic says cell phone.
They'll open the box. See what's in it?
Another suit, also pink in nature. Actually, this time it's a dress. Also, 2 more bags of blood.
They'll drink one of the bags of blood and put the other in the fridge.
There's 2 pitchers in there now. The pitchers have been refilled. You're not sure when that happened.
They'll drink the bags then.
Fair enough.
How many points is that?
Between the 2 bags, that would be 2. Which is pretty much offsets the last 2 days. The pitchers are 2 blood each. So there's 4 points of blood between the 2 pitchers.
They'll drink one of them and save the last one.
Reasonable. You clearly hear coming up, I don't fucking care. You sold me a faulty child. They're in fucking torpor upstairs. I have no idea. I assume it's been feeding. No, this is on you, Enzo.
They'll go and change and they'll put the dress on with the blazer from the suit over it.
Nice blending.
No.
The dress is short. Like above the knee short.
That's fine.
Tailored, once again, to your measurements.
They'll sneak out again to get a better listen to the conversation.
Alright, give me that roll.
Can they also use obfuscate?
You only have obfuscate 1, so you can deaden the sound, but it doesn't give you a stealth bonus exactly, so you won't be making noise, assuming that she is within the range of your obfuscate.
Okay.
Not that you know that there's a range or anything. Real quick, what is your wits and stealth?
My wits is 4 and my stealth is 2.
So 6, that would be 300 yards. Wait, I'm doing math wrong. Uh, 30 yards. So she is in the range of your quiet when her voice stops. Oh wait, how? Let's see. What's the range of your silence? We use the Dark Ages version of Obfuscate in the Sealyverse, so that's why it takes me a second to look things up. Silence of Death. You create a zone of absolute silence around the character with the maximum radius of 20 feet. Did you try to pull it in, or are you still new enough with it that you just do it at what you know how to do?
They'll just do what they know how to do, especially because I think it would be funnier to silence her.
Yep, so there is the Enzo, come and get, and her mouth moves and no sound comes out. And then you watch. Nope, she keeps her cool. surprisingly. You see her starting to get ramped up, and you see her stop, do breathing exercises, and, snaps her. She's doing stuff to make noise, and then it stops and dawns on her face, and she spins and stares at you.
They'll jump for being noticed. They weren't expecting to be noticed.
Her mouth is moving at you, but you can't hear. And then she points right in front of her. Points at you, points right in front of her.
They'll stop the obfuscate thing. Stop obfuscating, basically, and...
You catch the very end of the last thing she says, and it was itch. The very last thing, when you dropped it, you heard, itch!
Itch? You have an itch?
Never you mind that. Get down here immediately.
They'll think about it for a second. They won't automatically do what she says. And then they'll eventually decide, okay, and go down the stairs carefully.
You are seconds away from being summoned.
Oh no.
Was that you using obfuscate?
Is that what it was? That's what I've been doing, because,
Oh, no.
There's nothing to do in here, so, is that not normal?
No. This cannot be happening to me.
What do you mean?
Sit right there. Shut up. She pulls out a phone. Oh, her phone was still in her hand. Bernard, I need you at my suite now. Yes, you'll get paid. Get here fucking now. You see Barry start to pace. It is unsettling, because she has done up like the I'm cute, I am, basically the way that she is dressed and her demeanor do not meet in the middle. Do you say anything during this time?
Yeah, they'll consider it for a second and say, there's something else. I made a deck of cards appear.
Stops her
normal thing?
in her tracks. What?
I really wanted cards, because I was bored and you didn't give me anything to do, so I thought about it and they appeared in front of me. But then they disappeared and I tried to grab them.
Show me.
Okay. And they'll try to do it again.
Alright, the deck of cards reappears. Do you do it on the piano or in your hand?
On the piano.
Boop. Pops out of nowhere. She walks over and pokes at it, and it vanishes the second she touches it. Chemistry? Fuck me. Fuck me running. The polite, the light girlish tone to her voice drops. And for the first time, you think you're hearing what her real voice sounds like, as opposed to the slightly baby dollish voice she uses. I mean, it's not full on, oh, that's so expressive, sir. But there's a little bit to it. Why fucking me?
This isn't normal then.
No, you're defaulty in every fucking way. I'm going to have that fucking Geo's ass as my bracelet. There's a polite chime. It's been about 10 minutes. And you see her reach into her jacket, her clutch. Presses a button, the door opens up. and you see a woman come in. Dour, frown wrinkles. Looks like they've never been happy a day in their life. They are wearing a gray skirt that goes down to just her ankles, with a gray... it's not necessarily a sweater, but it's a long-sleeved, heavy material. She actually has a clutch of pearls around her neck. She's also wearing gray flats and gray leather gloves. Her hair is done up in a pretty tight wound bun. But she also has a... It's not necessarily a tiara. It is a metal headband at her hairline that has a ruby in the center of it. And the one thing you notice that's really strange about her pearls is they're strung on blue cord. And she's like, "You summoned me, advisor?" "Yes. I need you to test her fucking... I need you to test their fucking blood." "Okay. Am I looking for something in particular?" "No, just tell me what clan they are." "Okay." Barry pulls out a small rolled up piece of paper. "And this is to keep it quiet. If I hear of it, my husband will have your head. Understand?" "Perfectly, advisor." She will come over, and she will pull back her lips to present her teeth at you. Sorry, I misspoke Belle for Barry for a second. You think she's trying to smile. And then you feel a... it doesn't hurt, but your brain registers damage as she has taken her nail and slashed it down your arm and has stuck her finger inside of it. Like, the shock of her doing that prevents you from reacting, and she pulls back a little bit of your vitae from pretty much fingering you on the arm, and she rubs it together.
Ew, rude. Why, you couldn't have asked me first? I'm
Quiet.
A person, you know.
And she closes her eyes and feels, and then she stops, and there's a look on her face that is like, "Oh shit, I have bad news to say to somebody who I don't want to say bad news to." And she turns and says, "Inconclusive, your advisor." "How can it be fucking inconclusive?" "I can test again, but they seem not to have a clan." "No, you're not saying... If you want, I can make them well up blood and test again." "Test fucking again."
I don't get any... No, you're not fingering my arm again. Can I just give me the blood? Like, personal space.
"Fledgling," Bernard says. "Do you know how to move your blood? Have you figured that out yet?"
Yeah.
"Then please have some well up into the damage that I have caused you." To give you an idea of the manner of this person you're talking to, imagine if Dolores Umbridge and Nurse Ratched formed together. Now, you might not know the Nurse Ratched reference. She is a character from One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But are you familiar with Harry Potter?
Yes.
So, do you remember Dolores Umbridge?
Yes, and I know Nurse Ratched as well, not from...
Oh, that's right, the TV show. We talked about this.
Yeah, I watched the show, but that's the only experience I've had.
So yeah, that's pretty much she is the combination of those two horrible villainous individuals. Um, she doesn't have the fake sweetness that Umbridge has. She's definitely it's the seriousness that Ratchet was. The no nonsense. Anyway, you do well up a little bit of blood.
Yeah.
And then you'll see her center herself. And your experience in occult tells you that she is getting into a receptive state. And then she touches a thing, and she says, "Confirmed, advisor. They are a caitiff."
What the hell's a caitiff?
Barry screams. And manages to keep her cool. That would have changed how things went. She screams at Bernard, "Out!" And Bernard bows and goes out with zero, just like they're dismissed. Barry doesn't look at you. She just turns, follows Bernard out, and the door slams shut.
What the hell?
You don't see her until the next night. That you see her and two maybe former linebackers, just two very large males. "We are taking you somewhere. Let's go."
Hey,
Barry says.
where are you taking me? What's going on?
"Shut up, or I'll just destroy you now." There's no question about the seriousness of that tone.
They'll listen. They really don't like it, but they'll listen.
And she turns and marches out, and the two large gentlemen take up either side of you, towering over you. How tall is your character?
5'10".
Towering over your character. Both of these, one's 6'6", the other is like 6'10". It's like somebody put meat in a suit. The suits say security, and opposed to business. I mean, the sense of it is pretty much they have like a turtleneck or a tactile neck if your name's Archer, with a blazer over it.
They'll just kind of glance at either of them, both of them, and then loop their arms through their arms as if like they're together.
They drop their arms and basically they drop their arms in a way that drops your arms out of theirs. As in, this is not a silly matter.
They'll kind of deflate a little bit. Well, try to make a joke. They'll lighten the mood a bit, but I guess not.
No response. "Let's go," Barry says from the doorway.
They'll follow, I guess, or are they expected to go out first?
You get this sense from the two people next to you who keep lockstep more or less with you, that you are to follow. And one of them moves in front, one of them moves behind to keep herding you forward. When you get through the door, you realize that you're in a hotel hallway. Very, very nice. You know what hotel you're in. The hallways are very distinct here with their flamingo decor everywhere. You're in the Caesar's Flamingo. You go to the elevator. There's another word for it. My brain just blanked on it. But you go to the elevator. She swipes a key card from her clutch over a pad. The door opens up shortly, and there's a car inside, which she enters, and then you are encouraged to enter.
They won't fight it or struggle or go against anything at all at this point. They're kind of grasping their situation. That there was a lot of expectations put on them, and even if it's not very fair, their life is in danger. So they need to just kind of...
Life is in danger is the correct read of this situation.
Yeah.
But the thought of if they wanted you dead, they would have just killed you on the spot. So this has to be something better?
Yeah. They're hoping that this will be good, and they'll try not to mess it up or prevent it from happening.
A long elevator ride down gets you to... And you can watch the little things ping. You're up near the top floor, and now you're in sub-basement 3. The doors open up, and there is a town car with black windows. It is not a pink town car. It has zero branding of the hotel or anything on it. One guy gets into the driver's seat, and the taller guy opens up the back door and motions for you to get in.
They'll nod and say, well, thank you, and then get in.
He will walk around to the other side and get in. Barry never leaves the elevator. You watch it slowly close. And then you guys are driving.
Before it closes, they'll stick their hand out the window and wave.
The window doesn't roll down.
Oh.
But you can wave from inside the cab.
They'll do that.
No response.
Really tempted to flip them off, but they think
You
that
have
maybe
grace.
that'd be a bad idea. Huh?
Yeah, you have grace. I mean, also, flipping them off might push them over the edge.
That's exactly their thinking, so they're just gonna deal with it and maybe get retribution later.
You drive down the strip. Kind of. I mean, the Caesar's Flamingo is off strip, but you drive to the south. You know this area pretty well. You're leaving Paradise, and when they turn to the west, southwest of the city, you are like, well, this is weird. Where are we going? And you hear the guy sitting next to you says, no, not there. Copeland's. Oh, right. So, into the southwest, they go north, up into Spring Valley, then west into South Summerlin. They go down this dirt road. You've never been in this area before, but it's a pretty long drive down this road. And you see something. I mean, I don't know if your character would have experience with this or not, but you see a very sprawling ranch that the main house is... So when I say it is a trailer mansion, I don't want it to give the idea that it is trashy. There are some modular homes that are being made nowadays that are ridiculously fancy. This is one of them.
I grew up in a manufactured home, and it was pretty nice. It's like a regular three-bedroom house.
I grew up in a double wide. So, double wide with my grandfather has built onto like 3 additional rooms. But, so, yay, go us, modular people.
Yeah.
But this place there's a lot of acreage here. You pass one of those classic ranch archways that says Copeland Ranch. Roll me intelligence and politics. Mallow, you spent 0 to 2 in a trailer?
I do not have any dots in politics.
Alright. So...
Does that mean...
Aw, baby. Oh, the ages of 0 to 2. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what Mallow was saying. I'm like 2000 to 2002? Okay, I'm with you now. Then roll me intelligence and wits, which is accessing memory. Your target number is going to be 8. Nope. So the name Copeland means nothing to you.
Isn't that a bot?
No, there's no ones.
Okay, thank God.
So a botch is if you have a 1 and no successes.
Right.
Now, if you have any successes and 1s, it's all at most a fail. So the town car pulls up in front of the large entrance, and an old man comes walking out. He is partially bent. You don't know, you can't tell the reasonings, but something with his back. He is using a cane, and that's also when you notice that he only has 1 leg. His right leg is a peg, which might explain a little bit. He reads cowboy. He's got a wool line vest over a cowboy shirt, blue jeans, and a cowboy boot. Now, do you know what makes a cowboy shirt a cowboy shirt?
No.
They have snaps, not buttons.
Huh.
The reason for this is when they would, this is the era before T-shirts and the like, but basically their shirts would have snaps. So when they were bronco busting or working and got caught, and it wouldn't rip out buttons. It would just unsnap and then they would resnap. So, Western style shirts. Today you learned something probably useless. And he walks out, and he's got a cowboy hat, by the way. The guy looks to be probably in his 80s to 90s. And he comes out leaning heavy on the staff. And the muscle in suit says to you, "Get out."
Oh, okay. Thanks for the ride, boys. You have a good rest of your evening.
They don't respond.
Huh?
They don't respond.
Oh. They'll laugh nervously and then get out of the car.
They're not paid for their humor.
Yeah, they're trying to lighten the mood because it's who they are.
Yep. Totally fair. Trust me, I understand. The gorilla in the back will lean over, slam the door, and they drive off without anything else. The guy walks up to you, and he probably was 6 foot tall in his youth, but now maybe 5'8" to 5'10", depending on where you count the hat at. Welcome. I'm Gerald Copeland, and you're going to be my new child.
Oh.
Let's go on
Hi.
inside the ranch, and we can talk more about it.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know, you're somewhere safe, and nobody's going to harm you here.
I'll breathe a huge sigh of relief. Like, there was so much tension that they've been hanging on to ever since the beginning of this that they just let go of upon hearing him say that.
I mean, you're in a very interesting predicament, child, but we're going to get through this. All right?
All right. Thanks
Yeah.
for taking me in.
I'm not doing nothing I wasn't paid for, but it doesn't mean that we can't be acquaintances. First
Okay.
rule of being a vampire: don't trust no one.
I kind of got the sense of that already.
Well, sorry that your introduction into the unlife was less than pleasant. The inside of this place is huge. Multi-level. There is a conversation pit, as they used to be referred to, or a sunken living room. And he heads over to an easy chair that looks like it was old when Las Vegas was founded.
Oh my.
And he leans back into it, and it screams. Well, the springs in it scream in a this thing needs to be taken care of, and opposed to he just sat in a human flesh chair, which is a possible thing in this game, so that's why I wanted to specify.
The Zamisi.
Zamisi me, Zamisi you. So, first and foremost, let me make this clear that I have been paid a boon to claim you as my own and to take you in. So your errors and problems are going to be my errors and problems. Understand? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Your grandsire, Benjamin Siegel, who's the prince of the city. Prince is a term for person in charge, big boss man, chief. You get the sense, right?
Yeah, the big guy.
He has paid me a boon that he had over me to take care of you. And I'm going to take care of you. Hell, we might even become friends. No promises, though. I'm not quite square with your thing. I'll get used to it, but it's not what I'm used to, if I make myself clear. And he does a vague wave at the blazer trench, the blazer skirt. Obviously making a reference to the gender fluid non-binariness of you.
They'll whisper, "You're not used to dresses?"
Fair enough. Like I said, it don't make no never mind to me.
I mean, use whatever. In all seriousness, though, like, use whatever pronouns you want. I don't really care.
Fair enough. Now, the situation is this. You cannot, in any way, shape, or form, omit to Advisor Barry being your sire. I am deadly serious on this.
I mean, that's fine with me. I don't really want anything to do with her anyway.
Fair enough.
She's a terrible person.
She is indeed. She was a terrible person before she was embraced, and it didn't make her any better. Actresses, you know?
I mean, I am one.
No. She was, but hasn't done anything since the 20s. I mean, have you heard her voice? Do you really want that on a recording?
I mean, it takes all different types of folks.
Not my call. My call is teaching you how to be a vampire and how to survive being a caitiff. First and foremost, your life is going to be hell. Just accept it. There's always an option if you, get too tired of it. But I advise against that option.
What option?
Letting them win. Ceasing to exist.
Oh, no way. I mean, I'm not super happy with even being whatever it is this is.
And many people don't.
Vampirism?
Many people don't take to it at all. And one way or another, they either kill themselves fast or kill themselves slow. But I'm saying to you as a caitiff, your life is going to be hard, but every night that you live is spitting in their fucking eye. Pardon my French.
No. Still ponder this for a little while and nod. Just kind of listening. I understand that's not really the time to make a joke or anything like that. They're just trying to listen and learn because they're kind of still like in unknown waters. They still don't know anything and they're just trying to learn.
Now that I've gotten all the unpleasantness out of the way, just know your life doesn't need to be, gloom and doom. I mean, you're going to get to see things you've never got to see before. Technologies and advancements and, the way the government works, it's foolhardy thinking that's just going to ruin everything. But I don't want to get on a soapbox. What I do want to get is a knowledge of what you can do. All caitiff have some caitiff. And do keep in mind, caitiff means you are clanless. You are not a member of any particular clan, which also means you don't have a particular clan flaw. If you want to hear foolhardy, the clans, and he will hold his hands up and do the quote-unquote, they have two things in common, and only two things. They all have the same set of disciplines, set from sire to child, and they all have some type of flaw that is a hereditary flaw, if you believe such a thing. So they identify themselves by having these, disciplines and this flaw, which makes them better. But I'm telling you this, between you and me, we can have any discipline we want, and we don't have any inherent flaws because we were become a vampire. Which one of those sound more superior to you?
Oh, I forgot to unmute. So clearly we are. I mean, to be your own person. That sounds much more interesting.
Yeah. Just make sure it don't get to your head, because that's how you wind up dead. Most caitiff never get any status within the city, so they are living on borrowed time the entire time. Now, you can be one of them, people that go off into the wilderness and build your own cabin and and deal with the supernatural threats out there. But that's not living to me. I mean, I roughed it in my youth, but I'd rather have a bed to sleep in, even if I don't appreciate the sleeping in the bed.
They'll nod.
So,
and
Now the
Smile.
silver linings. Being a caitiff within Las Vegas is better than almost any other city. I hear Seattle has some weird things, but I would avoid going there. That's a city of omega status. It means that other cities send their worst of the worst there. So, it's like, I don't know. Any reference I make is going to come off as, either sexist or racist, so I'm just not going to say nothing. What I do want to mean to say is, you can have rights. You have a right to a domain and everything else, just like any full vampire, which normal cities don't really do. I mean, they normally sweep their caitiff into some homeless camp, or the equivalency. So that's good news. Other good news, I've been informed that you're going to be joining the prince's, I don't think they have a name yet, but his pet project. That's my term for it. I think that most kindred might be a little touchy about being called pets. Just between you and me.
Well, yeah, I mean, that does seem to carry a diminutive kind of meaning to it.
Well, the real world is much of pleasantness, young'un. And getting used to unpleasantness is part of life. I'm going to teach you everything I know. And as soon as I'm done, then you're going to be getting roped in with that group.
Okay.
Now, I've been told by your grandsire that you can reach out to him on this phone. And you see that he'll pull a cell phone out of his pocket. It is a flip phone. Now, do it only in emergencies, because he cannot officially recognize you as his child. But if anything, Siegel has, you might say, family issues.
Is he anything like the person who I was dealing with first, that lady?
Oh, he is magnitudes of worse. I mean, have you ever heard of the name Bugsy Siegel?
Would I have?
Well, I assume you living in Vegas? Yes. Bugsy Siegel is the legendary man who came to Vegas from mafia origins and built the city in the middle of the desert, bringing in the mafia with him and having the mafia run the city through and through. Now, keep in mind, that is Vegas's ramp up of real events, which are not exactly how they went. But, yes, Bugsy Siegel is nefarious. He was played by Ned Beatty in a movie that had Madonna in it.
Okay.
I think Madonna was that one, unless I'm mixing up Dick Tracy. Anyway, not that it matters. So, I mean, he is a man of, historical significance. And then you add in the fact that he is a elder Bruja, not elder by age, but elder by blood. And that won't make any sense to you, but let's just say it's good to be part of that family, even if you're not recognized by that family. Hey, it's like that television show that just was on the other day. You can call yourself like John Sand or whatever.
John Sand?
It's what the bastards are named after, the geographical property. Kind of like a bastard, except for you can't really say who your sire is. I guess that's also kind of that program. I didn't really get a lot of it. Like, sisters were sleeping with brothers, and I'm like, is this a show about the Giovanni? I mean, it's just all confusing.
Giovanni?
Not that you know what the Giovanni are. That they're undead merchants that have a tendency to love one another kind of aggressively. Well, maybe not aggressively. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't put my pie in other people's windows. Important thing is let's get to teaching you what's it like to be a vampire. And
Okay.
he will educate you. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to end the stream a little bit early. But you still get about 2 hours worth of your vignette. 3.5 by my clock, but I wasn't counting the character creation as part of it. The reason is I have to get ready for something.
Okay.
But this Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time will be our next session, which is going to be Session 3, Episode 6. This episode was 5.5 because we squeezed it in.
Okay.
And that one is going to be you arriving at Casa de Outcast, or I don't know what they're going to name that place. It's currently Siegfried and Roy's old estate. But with that, thank you everybody who has sat with us today listening to this vignette, the vignette of Cabal.
Yeah.
We deeply appreciate you. Please remember to like and subscribe and follow and all that. Trust me, it is really helpful. And even a little bit makes a huge difference. So once again, shout out to Malawolf666. Thank you for moderating and being the reason we need a moderator at the same time. And with that said, I am Sealy from the Sealyverse, and this was...
Oh, sorry. I'm Melatoothy.
Yep. Mel, did you have any people you wanted to shout out, or any programs or anything like that while we're in this very last moment?
I don't think so. No.
All right. Well, once again, thank you everybody, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.